Hey y'all, Jim here with Sunrise Farm. I just wanted to do a relatively short video today on planting some red Pontiac potatoes. This is about, give or take, about half of my planting. I've only got some of the space ready, so let me show you what I've done so far. So what you see here is 3 rows. I tilled up about a 6-foot area. These rows are 16 inches apart. The potatoes are roughly speaking 8 inches apart. I'm not getting down in there and measuring them. I can just eyeball that. And in these 3 rows, which are 16 inches apart on center, there's 177 pieces of potato in there. So definitely a lot of potential. This is almost half of my red potatoes. So what I'll end up doing is over there, I will separate this section and the next section that I'm going to do just like this by about 3 feet, so I have a good walk space in between. But you might be asking, isn't that a little close to plant potatoes as far as row spacing goes? Yes, ordinarily it would be. You wouldn't be able to cultivate it very good, and it would be a little problematic. But you may not can see it great in this shot. Let me see if I can zoom in like that. You can see I have a pile of leaf compost, leaf mulch if you will, wood chips, that particular pile has been sitting quite some time, so it's okay to utilize. It's already reduced down a good bit, and I have a few piles just like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to mound this up almost as if there was a raised bed here. So by the time I'm done, as these potatoes grow, I'm going to probably have this thing about 18 inches, 2 feet high with that leaf mulch. It's a combination of leaf mulch and dirt, and it's just been mixed together for many months now, so it's been reduced down and all is good. Let me first give you a little bit of a close-up. And like I said, these are red Pontiacs, so I actually, as I was going through my bag, my 50-pound sack that I showed you in a different video, I had several in there that I still could cut up for more potatoes, so I did. No point in overplanting a big potato. Even some of these down here I probably could have cut, but I went with it. So let me just show you something real quick in case you were ever curious. When you plant a potato with the eyes or sprouts coming out of the eyes, they'll ultimately start looking like this. And what you see, those little white looking stringy things, those are actually the roots starting to form out of that eye, out of that sprout. And so that is what will ultimately go into your soil to root your vegetables to where your plant will start to grow up and out. You can see that it's going just about all the way around that one sprout. And so if you've ever wondered how the potato took root and how it grew, well, that's it. And it's feeding itself off of the energy of that potato. All right, so now you actually have a little better concept if you never knew how a potato grew, you know, where it started its roots from and how it formed. Well, now you can see clearly on this seed potato that's been sitting in that bag now for probably, what, 4 weeks? Yeah, about 4 weeks. So clearly you can see it started forming roots. Now several of the ones I planted in the ground had already started this, but this one was the most kind of prolific, so I thought it'd be a good example for you. That being said, you don't technically need to water, or extremely little. I mean, if it's going to rain, it's going to rain. But you don't necessarily need to water potatoes in the ground, because if you water them too much before the leaves come up out of the ground, you actually have a tendency to make them rot and make them go bad. So when you plant them in the ground like this, there's no real need to water them for a little while. Now when the leaves come up out of the ground and start growing, yes, definitely start to water it then. But like I said, this clearly my dog found something in the background out in the woods. Done hauled butt with it, whatever it is. Cameo by Sasha. Anyways, so until you see the leaves come out of the ground, you don't necessarily need to water it much at all. Like I said, if it rains, it rains. But the potato is actually surviving and growing, even thriving, if you will, on the energy that's in the potato already. So hopefully that's helpful to you. If you got any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments below. I'd love to know your thoughts. Hopefully this was beneficial to you, and you'll see as I go forward with other potato plantings, I'll do some other videos. Also, when I raise this mound up, if you will, yes, for me, I have the ability to. I've had leaf mulch around here. I've got it already kind of cured out, if you will. It's not compost yet, but it's cured out enough to where I'm not worried about chemical or nitrogen burn out of the pile. And yes, I have a tractor. So obviously this is not for everybody, but if you're going to do it on even a small scale to where you can mound up after the fact, you know, because potatoes need hilling up. They need that space to grow, because as the plant grows, it forms side shoots, and that's where the potatoes will go. So the more you can mound it up, the higher, or the higher you mound it up, the more potential potatoes you can get, because potatoes need to be in the dirt. They need darkness. If the potatoes start coming out of the ground and start touching light, they'll go bad in a pretty good hurry. So you want to make sure that if you're growing potatoes, that doesn't happen. Try to keep them covered at all times. Some form of mulch, dirt, what have you. So yeah, so I hope this was beneficial. Thank you so much for watching today's video. Take care and God bless you. Have an amazing day in the Lord.